JosephEStiglitz, The Price of Inequality, How Today's Divided Society Endangers Our Future. The Price of Inequality offers a compelling examination of the current income disparities in America and how they jeopardize the future of society. By delving into the roots, outcomes, and potential dangers of inequality, Nobel laureate JosephEStiglitz reveals the alarming scope of this issue and underscores the urgency of addressing it. Our summary will guide you through the major themes of the book, including the changes in wage trends, the influence of government policies on inequality, and the role of trust in a stable society. We'll also discuss the possible paths towards remedying inequality, and the benefits of building a more equitable and inclusive society.
The reality of income inequality in America. Income inequality has been on the rise in America since the 1980s with the concentration of income among the richest earners. Despite the country's GDP growth, the economy does not work for most citizens. This has resulted in numerous economic, political, and social consequences and a decline in living standards for Americans. Studies have shown that Americans are overly confident about their social mobility and ability to increase their income, beliefs that the 1% shape through promoting certain ideas. The U.S. needs to tackle the issue of income inequality to prevent the strife-laden future that waits for the country if the situation persists and worsens. The impact of government policies on inequality. Government policies have a significant impact on inequality in society. Laws and policies often benefit certain groups while burdening others. For example, changes in tax laws have made the system less progressive, benefiting the wealthy. Also, policies have helped lenders and employers while hurting students and low-wage workers. The government has a role in correcting these market failures to design policies that align private incentives with social returns. Poor management of globalization has led to job destruction and caused pay rates to converge, creating a wage drop for workers in developed countries. The free flow of capital adds financial volatility, limiting a country's ability to make decisions. Inequality creates instability that leads to more inequality, and the government must take responsibility for correcting these issues. The cost of rent-seeking behavior. Rent-seeking behavior describes a situation where individuals or entities gain outsized rewards without creating wealth themselves. The concept has expanded to include subsidies, natural resources, monopoly profits, and quotas. Unfortunately, widespread rent-seeking behaviors create economic inequality, which lowers consumption and weakens the economy. The behavior is perpetuated by laws that reduce market competition, weak enforcement of anti-competitive rules, and regulatory loopholes. Macroeconomic policies contribute to the high level of inequality amongst the U.S. population. If these conditions persist, the wealth gap will continue to grow, and economic growth will stagnate. To rectify this problem, policymakers must correct the gaps between private rewards and social returns by taxing income that meets the economic definition of rent. This policy could increase efficiency, reduce inequality, and elevate productivity in the United States. Bank bailouts and the U.S. financial system. The U.S. government deregulated financial institutions in the 1980s, resulting in a series of crises globally. Before the 2008 to 2009 bailout, the U.S. had rescued its banks during multiple crises, primarily caused by excessive lending. Monetary mismanagement has also contributed to these crises, with the Fed being disproportionately influenced by bankers and their allies. The Fed failed to recognize the fast-rising housing prices in the 2000s as an unsustainable investment bubble, and Congress's empowerment in 1994 to increase the required down payments for mortgages and strengthen loan standards was left unused out of a reluctance to interfere with financial markets. Inequality could be both the cause of and consequence of the social breakdown in the past 4 decades. Monetary policy and the wealthy. U.S. monetary policy favors banks and the wealthy, resulting in an unstable economy and job creation challenges. This is due to cognitive capture, where regulators adopt the perspectives and interests of the entities they supervise. The focus on controlling inflation is misguided, and the European Central Bank exhibits this mindset even more than the federal monetary policy may be the only way to encourage employment growth, but it primarily serves the interests of banks. Officials need to address this issue to benefit the majority of people and promote a more prosperous economy. The role of trust in America's future. The dwindling levels of trust in America's institutions and political system is causing a decline in social capital and could lead to a future of civil conflict and economic instability. Inequality and increased disillusionment of voters have shifted electoral power to the wealthy and corporations, leading to a disempowerment of ordinary Americans. However, there is cause for optimism if the top 1% can see that ensuring an equitable society is in their best interest. To reclaim its reputation as a place of fairness and opportunity, America must act quickly to moderate the forces of economic globalization and promote self-interest properly understood for community well-being.
Stiglitz's The Price of Inequality presents a thorough analysis of widening income disparities in the United States and the dangers posed by this divided society. The book emphasizes the pressing need to address the problem of inequality and discusses the flawed economic decisions and government policies that have aggravated the issue. Through a comprehensive exploration of the challenges before us, the book marshals a call for necessary reforms to create a more just and inclusive society. Ultimately, Stiglitz argues that all members of society, including the wealthiest, would benefit from a more equitable distribution of resources and opportunities, and the strengthening of social cohesion that would surely follow.